All right, welcome to Stretch and Connect, 15-minute stretch break, and we're gonna start standing. So go ahead and get away from your workspace, move your chair off to the side. Make sure you have some space for your stretch session today. And we're gonna start with our feet just right under those hips. You're gonna bend the knees softly. Take an inhale, you're gonna reach those arms all the way up, good deep breath. And then exhale, you're gonna take them down. So we're gonna do a couple of these to warm up the body just a little bit. Nice inhale, reaching up, and take your gaze up with those hands, and then exhale back down. And a couple more, nice and easy. Inhale and exhale. Let's do two more here. Inhale, reach those arms up, and then exhale. One more, and you're gonna keep those arms extended up at the top. Inhale. You're gonna interlace your fingers here, bend the elbows, and then take them all the way back up. We're gonna bring those feet together and exhale over to that left side. So getting a nice stretch along the right side of that body. Push into that right foot here, a little bit deeper. As you reach over, maybe an inch more. And then inhale it, slowly come back up to the center, keeping that core nice and strong. I'm actually gonna let go of those arms as we exhale. Circle the wrists on your way down. Just a couple shoulder rolls before we go over to the other side. Just being mindful of our upper body, our shoulders, our neck, especially this area. Tends to be tense when we sit all day. So one more shoulder roll, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, you're gonna interlace those fingers, take another breath. Arms come on up, inhale, and exhale over to that right side this time. Those feet were not close together, bring them close to one another now. And just take a few breaths to get that nice stretch in that left side body. Now go ahead and push into that left foot. Maybe find a little bit more room here. One more breath. Keep that core nice and strong. So very slowly inhale, and then exhale, same thing. Arms come down and just circle those wrists all the way down. Perfect. And coming back into those shoulder rolls. Up, down, and around. Good. One more big shoulder roll. Then we're just gonna shake those arms out. Just gonna move our way down the body now. All right, so we'll do one more standing. We're gonna bring those feet nice and wide here. This is a full body roll, starting with our shoulders. Take the shoulders up to your ears, down and back. And as you inhale, you're gonna slide down, bending your knees, sort of arching your back a little bit. And then exhale, we're gonna drop that head completely, and you're gonna slowly roll it up. So just take your time here. Normally do this during class. We go a little bit faster. So for this stretch session, just taking it nice and slow. Let's do it again. Inhale. I'm just gonna show you from the side. So I'm sort of arching my back right here. Inhale, arch the back, push your chest forward. Exhale, really folding forward. Tucking your shin so you get that nice stretch in your lower back. Just exaggerating every movement with this stretch. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, slide down. I want you to stay nice and low. Nice and low. Go ahead and smooth those hips a little bit, side to side. Maybe it's the first time that you stretched all morning. So just kind of work it out, right? Move those hips a little bit. And now we're gonna drop that right shoulder forward for a little bit of a twist. Now here is where, if you have a block or a pillow, I want you to go ahead and grab it and just have it handy. Okay? So we're doing this twist. Now what I want you to do is reach that right hand to the floor or your block. Let's just straighten your legs now and add a little more dimension to that twist. So take that other hand on your hips and start to now rotate and look over that left shoulder as you slowly begin to straighten out those legs. Also taking your gaze up towards the sky or ceiling here. Now, if you have that range of motion, feel free to extend that arm straight up. So imagine someone sort of pulling that shoulder up and back. We're gonna do one more breath here. Inhale, come back to the center, and then exhale. Let's just hang out here in this wide-legged stance and stretch. Hands either on the floor or on your block. And I want you to relax your head here completely. And just sort of gently rock forward and back a little bit. So sort of shifting your weight from your heels to your toes, and just a little rock forward and back. Work through those muscles in the back of the leg that also tend to be really tight. And again, just getting a little more movement going. Relax your head, imagine it's really heavy here. All right, and then let's slowly roll all the way up. So you're gonna bend the knees, you're gonna slowly roll back up, just like we did with that body roll stretch. Move. Maybe move the hips a little bit, right? Kind of get those kinks out. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So full body roll, shoulders first, inhale. We're gonna slide down, bend the knees. Exhale, we'll stop right here. So same exact thing. Getting into those hips a little bit, and then when you're ready, you're gonna drop an opposite shoulder down. So this time, the left. Getting a little bit of a twist here. Starting to almost push those knees apart a little bit. So you get that inner thigh stretch, right? And then we reach for the floor. We start to straighten our legs, and we take that opposite hand on our hip to add that twist in the torso. Same thing here. If you have that range of motion or flexibility, feel free to extend that arm straight up. Now on this side, for me, it's not happening today, but I still want you all to encourage that shoulder to pull back and open, right? You don't want to force any movement. Stretching should feel pretty good. So take a few more breaths here. Try to really straighten those legs. So you feel a little bit of a stretch behind in those hamstrings. One more breath here. And then inhale, come back, and then exhale. Just kind of hang out here for a moment before I make it down to the floor. All right, and then we're gonna slowly make our way down to the floor. So you can just rotate over towards your left or right foot. I'm gonna go over towards my left. So just very slowly rotate over. Sort of like I'm getting ready for a lunge. And I'm gonna drop that back knee to the floor. Doesn't matter what side, we'll do both. But I have my left leg in front and my right behind. So now we're gonna go right into a hip flexor stretch. You have those blocks, have them handy. Engaging the core here for balance. Arms come up, inhale, and then exhale. Just gonna hold right here, drop our hips, get that nice hip flexor stretch. And then inhale, we're gonna take those hands down. And as you exhale, this outside arm is gonna wrap around and reach for the back. So reaching either for your calf or your heel. Let's take it back. Inhale and exhale. And we're gonna do it one more time. So again, opening up through that side body, but also stretching out our hips. Here's your last one. Just hang out here for 2 breaths, because we're gonna do a deeper variation of the stretch. This just sort of gets it a little bit more in depth for it. And then go ahead and come on back. Let's sit back and pull our toes towards our nose. So once again, getting into those hamstrings a little more in our calves. Great spot for the blocks here. Hold this, you wanna straighten that front leg while still keeping a nice flat back. One more breath. And then let's shift it back forward. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So if we wanna transition the same way that we did, you're gonna come back to the center. It's that wide-legged stance. So just slowly make your way up. This just kind of works on our hip mobility a little bit, right? But of course, you can get into it any way that you'd like. So now we're just moving over to the other side. I just moved my hips. I sort of came into that runner's lunge and then gently lower the knees. And then you're in that hip flexor stretch. Arms up, make sure you are breathing here, not holding that breath. A big stretch on the opposite hip flexor. And we're gonna take those arms down. Inhale, and exhale, we open up. Now it's the opposite side. Just looking over that shoulder, reaching for that foot behind us. Inhale, we take it back up. 2 more times. Exhale, reach. Just sort of creating a little back bend here. 1 more time. We're gonna make this a little bit bigger in just a moment. Hold your last one here. 1 more breath. And then come on back. Let's sit back, toes towards the nose. So your hips drop, chest still stays lifted, nice and flat back. Take 1 more breath, really try to straighten that leg. Back to your hip flexor stretch. All right, perfect. So we're gonna go into a similar movement, but make it a little bit more challenging, a little bit deeper stretch. So we're gonna fold our mat. If you want a little more support for your knees, fold your mat. So this helps me here. So this is gonna be similar to like camel pose almost in yoga, all right? So you can flex your toes here so that your heels are up a little higher, because what we're doing is essentially reaching for our heels, or you can keep them flat, so totally up to you. Have those blocks handy, or maybe get close to a wall. So we'll start with this right arm, and our left hand is gonna reach back, so that same side that we just did. So you're gonna take a nice inhale, reach that right arm up, and as you exhale, you just lean back. On this side, I'm gonna tuck my toes so I can reach for my heel. And what you wanna do is push your hips forward while you're doing this. And you're looking over that shoulder. And then let's come back to the center. So it's sort of a flowing motion. Inhale, and then exhale the other side. So if you want, you can take a look at my screen, and then just sort of mimic what I'm doing. And you can go as slow as you'd like here. I'm really just holding each one for about a breath. So if you have that block, you can actually put the block right behind you and reach for that, right? Oh, much easier instead of reaching for your heel. So totally up to you. And then eventually you'll get to a point where you can do a bigger back bend and reach a little more. So be nice and gentle, okay, especially with your back here, right? Sort of reaching towards that corner. And we'll just do 1 more on each side, and we'll get a nice back stretch when we're done here. Here's our last one. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and just sit right down into a child's pose. So feet come together, knees go out a little bit. Sit back as you walk your hands out. Use the block for your forehead here as well. Woo, just take a few breaths. Hold that there. And while that may have felt a little challenging, I know for me it did, it's really just because I always sort of flex in this position. But we want to make sure that we're stretching and keeping our spine healthy. So all of those extension movements are really good for it. Feel free to shift your weight from side to side in your child's pose. We're just about done here. Maybe take 2 more deep breaths in that child's pose. 1 more. All right, and then inhale, slowly walk it up. So before we come up to standing, feel free to stop in a downward facing dog. On our way up, stretch always feels good. And then just simply lower those knees to the floor, and you're gonna roll up to standing. Head comes up last. Nice and easy. Come back to the top here. Reaching those arms up, big deep breath, and then exhale, shake it out. 1 more time, inhale and exhale. All right, full body stretch break. I hope you are feeling better and enjoy the rest of